it'll just get worse. So in that situation, you need a credible threat. You need something which is going to focus their minds on the need to change. And one would be the evolution of private currencies created by entrepreneurs and backed, of course, not by state fear, but by some other means to give people capacity to trust the currency for conversion, for sale purposes. We need something like that. And frankly, entrepreneurs learn faster than economists do. I've seen entrepreneurs go through this experience, be hit by the financial crisis, see their fortunes wiped out, think, what the hell hit me? Where did that come from? See an economist saying it's an exogenous shock and say, you've got to be kidding, it's something inside the system, learn about the system and then realize how it functions and think, hey, not only is this what wiped me out, this is a potential commercial opportunity, because there are many, many people who would like to make business transactions right now who can't make the transactions simply because of the shortage of credit-based money or government-based money. Let's create a private-based money instead. So in that sense, I've always had great respect for entrepreneurs. It's made me very different to a lot of critics of capitalism who normally deride everybody in the system. I have a lot of time for people who innovate, and that's here, yet again, innovation at the level of the financial sector is now necessary, and it's far more likely to come from commercial sector entrepreneurs than it is from the finance sector, and certainly from governments and economists.
Now, 100 years ago, the in thing was gold-backed currencies. That's what most of the world used. And ever since the 1970s, we've moved to fiat currency, and actually the proponents of fiat currency would say its principal feature is that the government gets to just decide what the size of the money supply should be, or increase it or decrease it at the push of a button, without having to have any gold backing behind it. So when you talk about moving away from the current system to something new and better, what kind of currency system should we have? Should it be another fiat system that's run by someone other than the government, or should it be gold-backed, or should it be backed by some other kind of asset? What are we talking about in terms of the nature of the currency itself?
Private entrepreneurs can create money systems based on, for example, one of the systems I know called Bartercard, which is based in Australia, is people to join you have to be a tradesman. And as a tradesman, you can be paid to work for another person who's part of the whole system, therefore another tradesman, in what they call trade dollars, which are basically valued dollar for dollar Australian currency dollars to these currency dollars, but they valued in terms of your labour at 1 hour per $10 per hour of labour. So in that situation, tradesmen who would like to, for example, get their house plastered can go and say, I'm an electrician, I'll work on your electrical project, get paid half in dollars and half in trade dollars. And then that's built up a credit that you can then send to this person and say, I want you to come do plastering in my house at 10 trade dollars an hour. And that has enabled quite a substantial amount of commerce to occur, particularly in the Australian state of Victoria, where it began. So systems like that are backed effectively by the labour of the members.
The system that you've just described works for people who are tradesmen and are sharing skills, but the rest of the economy obviously can't participate in something that's that focused. So when you talk about entrepreneurs generally offering currency systems on a competitive basis, what would it look like? How would this work? What are the mechanics? Are these things backed by something? If so, how would they be redeemed and so forth?
It has to be backed by something that people trust. To some degree, in the same sense we can't. Another one that I know, which is called IEX, it's about to start, I think in the 1st of July. It's been launched in about 30 or so countries around the world. And that is based on the wealth of high net worth individuals who have assets they want to sell. And what this system does is say, I'm going to get a valuation. By the way, I better say I'm being consulting to this firm, being paid by them, so I have to state up front. But I'm doing it because I think we need something, and I think this is a potentially successful avenue. But back to the explanation, to become a member, you have to have at least $1 million worth of assets. The assets get valued by an auditing firm. Of course, they're verified at current price levels. Then you get a certificate, which you can then use to buy assets owned by any other person in this whole network. So effectively, it's backed by the wealth, not the labour of the individuals it is with the Bartercard, but it's backed by the wealth of the individuals in this system. And then that's to enable people to sell a yacht. They can't there's not enough monetary demand for a yacht, but they can find IEX certificates for it. A hotel chain could use that as a way of, they could value the notional value of the rooms that currently aren't being used and get an IEX certificate backing that, which would then enable them to make a sale to a retail chain. And the retail chain, again, it's a parallel form of exchange. So this is another clever way to say, what can we use as a way of backing a currency that people will trust to enable an exchange to occur?